There is power behind every story we carry within. Every tragedy, no, yes, laugh, victory. And every testimony that is incubated within our souls have power. The power to transform, from tragedy to crown, from obstacle to opportunity. And all the moments in between make us wiser. Watch Candid Conversations with Charisa for impactful, unheard moments that will certainly spark your power and inner truth to shift, heal, and restore your life. It's time to get real, uncover, unlock, unpack, set free, and increase the dialogue to change a life. We all start somewhere and end in places of destiny. Get ready for the long-awaited Candid Conversations with Charisa.
What are some of my biggest fears? I can't stand this question. And it's one of those questions that makes you vulnerable, at least it makes me vulnerable and open. But let's see. One of my biggest fears is doing it scared. I had someone tell me recently, just do it scared. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? I just told you. The reason why I don't want to do this is because I think I have a fear of not being perfect and it not being excellent the first time. And they're like, no, just do it scared. And I'm like, who does that? And then I thought about it and I'm like, it's because we've been taught that, if you are afraid of something or if you are scared or you have a fear of something, you have to deal with that and then move forward. But sometimes fear is one of those natural things that happen for humans. And so I realized that if I'm always going to be afraid, if I'm always going to be scared of something not being right and perfect and excellent, or if it's not going the way that I think it should, I'm never going to move. I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to have children. I'm never going to just step out and share my story because I'm afraid to cry. I'm never going to do it. And so when I do it scared, which is what I started doing, then I just realized that, oh, this scared thing is actually making me stronger. This scared thing is making me more confident. But yeah, doing it scared is scary. I don't know about you, but believe it or not, it's scary doing it scared. So yeah, that's been a major fear. Another fear is not being satisfied with what I see in the mirror. And it's fearful because if I'm never satisfied with what I see in the mirror, then I will never be able to move on from doing that same thing to get this perfect result. So if I don't like how I look, if I don't like my shape, if I think I'm too fat, if I think my head is too big, if I can't get my baby hairs laying properly, then I'll always be late. Because if it ain't perfect, I'm not gonna go. If I look in the mirror and internally I don't like how I'm feeling, then I'm not gonna make a step left. I'm not gonna make a step right. And so I'm just afraid that I'm never gonna be satisfied with the accomplishments that I've made, to be able to celebrate myself, to be able to celebrate my accomplishments, to be able to celebrate my achievements thus far. So I'm always working on, man, like how can I just look in the mirror and say, Charisa, you are great, you are good, you look good, you're beautiful, you're awesome. And so yeah, I deal with that from time to time. And then another big fear that I've been working on for the last 7 years now, is the fear of not having a cushion to fall on. And that's because for the entire first 32 years of my life, my parents were my cushion. If I fell, they were my cushion. If I was weak, they were my cushion. If I was falling, they were the first cushion that I would see. And now that cushion has been completely removed. And so because that cushion isn't there, I'm afraid to jump. I'm afraid to leap. I'm afraid to step too far because that cushion isn't there. And the worst part is I haven't figured out how to deal with a new cushion. Whether that's a new person cushion, whether that's putting even more faith in God, whether that's having to deal with a different season that requires me moving to where a different cushion is, I haven't figured that out yet. So the fear of not having a cushion and then the fear of the unknown of what a new cushion looks like it's even more compounding. Because I want to be able to leap and jump and fly. I want to be able to trailblaze. But no one does that if you feel the minute you do it, you're going to literally fall on concrete and bust your tail or bust your head open or be embarrassed or be ashamed. Like, I didn't have those fears when my parents were very much present. And then they're not here and I'm left to life's, disposal. And it's like, okay, so either you jump and fall and hurt and then figure out how you're going to get back up. And even the figuring out part, like, I don't even know what that looks like. I've been trying to figure it out for the past 7 years. And again, it's been scary. So yeah, those are some of my fears. I don't want to talk too much about that one because I just don't feel like crying. I don't feel like crying. And that's that's the fear that comes with it. And I know that people always say, you need to cry, you need to shed, you need to tear up, and I don't know. I just don't feel like it. I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. And maybe that's another fear. If I can make it number 4, I don't like that feeling of being weak. And I'm learning slowly but surely that my tears actually aren't my weakness. They're actually my strengths. Absolutely. But I think that now. And I say now within the last maybe 5 months. In the last 6 years, I didn't think that. I actually thought the very opposite. Having that fear of not having a cushion and not wanting to fall and bust my head or bust my tail and not wanting to cry. Like, I thought hiding those and not sharing those and not acknowledging them was strength. Until I realized the opposite. So it wasn't until I acknowledged every last one of those fears. Like, even having to acknowledge those fears to you is major for me. But acknowledging them and then trying to figure out what to do with them has brought a certain sense of freedom in my mind. It has freed up so much space in my mind and my heart for me to now be able to think and be more creative and even want to do what I wouldn't have done because I was so scared. So absolutely. It has definitely propelled me more into my purpose. And it has also shown me, because I'm in a different season, I'm actually now seeing additional pieces of my purpose. We're not always shown our entire purpose at one time. Because imagine if at 10, God showed me my entire purpose, so I figured out what I was supposed to be doing at 10. I wouldn't be able to handle it. I wouldn't be able to manage it. 7 years ago, if God had showed me, 8 years ago, if he had showed me I'll be doing this now, I would run. So I realized the more I acknowledge my fear and the more I expose my fear, the more important it was for me to realize, what do I fill that fear with, whatever the opposite of that is. And then I was seeing more of, man, you're afraid because the more pieces of your purpose you see, it's greater and it's bigger. So I had someone even say to me recently, the greater your work or the greater your purpose, the harder you fall if you fall. And so the higher I get in my purpose, the further I get in my purpose, actually my fear of that cushion not being there grows, because now I'm standing on an even higher platform and I'm having to look down and realizing there is nothing soft down there if you don't get this right. And so that's how my fear grows. But it's almost as though one doesn't happen without the other. So I can go higher and I can elevate higher and the distance not grow. And so I'm allowing myself to just trust God that, you know what? You are going to be that cushion. You're going to be that softness that is going to allow me not to bust my head and bust my tail. So absolutely, it is pushing me more to figuring out what the other pieces of my purpose is. I'm so excited. Boom.